day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This is FQ Mom Rose Press Fausto.
And Anton Fausto the Son. So today the topic is going to be about the importance of failing.
Bagsak.
Making mistakes, going through the process of trying something and then not getting the desired result or
Yes.
end goal.
Not winning.
I think it's something very important and you can apply in all aspects of your life.
Yes.
Na it's not something that it's only valuable when you're young or when you're working na. It's something that everybody has to really go through. And I think it starts in school.
In school, there is a structure kasi eh. And
Yeah.
we're talking about traditional schools here, no?
Yeah, studying in a traditional quote-unquote big school.
Competitive
Ateneo,
at
very
that.
competitive, very high standards also.
Yes.
What ends up happening, because even if the goal is to learn and then to improve your discipline, your work ethic and everything, I can personally say that we got too used to being afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, kasi the structure of a traditional school is that the teacher teaches. It's a little bit of a one-way street.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna test whether you understood the lessons by giving you a test. And in so doing, there are answers that are expected from you.
Yeah.
They are called the correct answers.
Yeah.
And that is essentially throwing back to the teacher what she told you. Diba?
Yeah.
And usually that involves a lot of memorization, no?
Mm-hmm. Something I personally didn't enjoy. But then I understand it also. It's something then we have to note that it's uso rin kasi to say na parang the school structure is bad, ganyan.
But,
It's just copying. But there's
there
a
is
reason naman because
yes.
there's just so many students. Like you need to look for you're not gonna be able to like the sad reality is you're not gonna be able to adjust
One-on-one,
your teaching style to every student because every
Yes.
student learns differently naman talaga.
Yes.
So even if one person has higher grades, doesn't mean they're smarter. I mean, doesn't mean kaagad na. Yeah, they're smarter na kaagad because they have higher grades. It's just that they're better at that
particular
that
field, no?
Yeah, stats.
Can I just add
Yeah.
this, kasi we're talking about the schools. Kasi the traditional school system, I think that emanated from when we were trying to train our citizens to be good factory workers. So, so
Okay.
parang medyo in line with that also, no? So, but of course, we live in a society, so there are still norms that each individual should also learn. Everybody has to learn how to do math.
Mhm.
At the very basic man lang, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and even yung mga geometry, etc. I don't agree that you should take that out as some of our leaders insinuated and suggested before. So there is also a need for that, but as parents and as individuals, we have to be conscious that sometimes because of the way we have been trained in traditional schools, we get too obsessed and too scared of failing,
Yeah.
and that is not healthy.
Yeah, that's something I faced in high school, specifically with math. Because the thing in grade school, I really enjoyed math.
You were
I-
good at
I-
math, di ba?
Yeah. I think that's also it. And I could kind of, I kind of understood numbers lang. Like it was medyo easy to me, and that's why I was kind of good at it. But in high school, it became harder because I was in a class where our math was advanced.
Yeah.
So it's faster paced, and it syempre becomes more complex as you go up in the grades. And I think that's where it changed for me because it wasn't when we were learning math in high school, it wasn't anymore about fun playing around with numbers, balancing the sides. It was about being able to solve a problem, the discipline of doing all the memorizing the steps on how to solve a
Yes.
problem, applying them, trying to see in this problem what equation, what formula should I be able to use. That became the importance of math there. I think that's where I really struggled.
That's
Kasi-
where they lost you.
Yeah.
And I think because of your changes in interest also, there was a shift there.
Yeah.
You got very interested in dancing,
Mhm.
and I mean, admittedly, you were not able probably to give as much time as you would have if your interest was still there, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Supposing that you're
It's like-
like a Gabeson,
Yeah.
your
Human
math
calculator.
wizard classmate. So, di ba? it's also the time. So there has to be a realization of that also.
Yeah, it's two things because we can say na parang, oh, it's the teacher's fault because
Yeah, and
they
I like you.
pressure,
I
ganyan.
admire you for not blaming your teacher.
Yeah, kasi it's a proper mindset because yes, there are those experiences where really
Even if
the
your
teachers
teacher was
are-
really notorious for.
there no, but I'm saying this, there are really teachers who set up an environment where you are going to be terrified to make mistakes.
Terrorized.
But like you have to remember that it's just a class, and the
Yeah.
mindset, the proper mindset, I believe, isn't na okay if you want to go with this thought path of parang mistakes are good, like it's gonna help you learn. You're not here to make mistakes. You're not going to class and you're not doing all these
And
challenges.
deliberately make
Yeah, parang
mistakes.
yeah, I'll make mistakes because mistakes are the way to success. You don't focus on making mistakes. You focus on the success. And I think the mindset should be that I'm here to give my best effort, even if it involves making mistakes. So you focus on the improvement, on you want to be better in this and that,
Yeah.
and mistakes just are the inevitable way to
Yes.
get there. There's no one who's gonna just be good kagad because you know they put their mind, I'll be good, and then no mistakes, I'll be good kaagad. Parang ganun.
Yeah, no such thing, ano. In fact, the failures are awakenings. Kumbaga, it tells us na, oh, this is pala not the way to do it. So try again, try again,
Yeah,
try again.
yeah. And that connects to another point where, yes, that failure, and I believe that failure and pain are the best teachers kasi tatatak talaga yan sa utak mo
Yeah, it's
sa
in
puso
your
mo
limbic
Yes.
system.
But there are also more efficient ways to kind of skip this step 9 kasi the goal is to improve, to be a better, more successful person. The goal isn't to make the mistakes. So if you can learn from parents' mistakes or from
Correct.
successful people's stories, you'll see yung mga advice nila through the mistakes that they personally made. So yes, mistakes are still important, but you don't necessarily need to make all the mistakes in the world.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of mistakes that people already did for you.
Exactly.
And you
So
can just
what
pick up
you're
the
saying
lessons.
is, hello, there are avoidable mistakes.
Yes.
Meaning to say, for example, you know that being, kumbaga, a drug addict.
Yeah.
Di ba? Parang you don't
The
have
first,
to go
the first,
through.
yeah, the first drug addict in history probably didn't know that it was bad.
Yes, yes. So things like that, or what else? Ano pa ba yung mga super obvious failures na getting somebody pregnant when you're not ready? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you
those
know what
types of
to do with those things, di ba?
My example, when I see with Q Marty and Dicong, with mga things they went through in college,
Yeah.
yung like balancing org work,
Yes.
school work, but still having a social life, parang those many things that just by observing how they study. And a funny story is that I was, when entering college, I was really thinking of taking up ME, Management Engineering. This
Yes.
is like the hard.
This
One
is
of
like
one
the
of
pinakasikat na
pinakasikat
course.
hard, not the hardest course, but it's like the I guess pinakasikat commercialized.
Yeah, and
Um,
in fact, because you have the reputation that even if you don't graduate with honors, but you graduated
As an
finishing
ME graduate.
Management Engineering.
Okay to, magaling to.
Galing,
Yeah.
discipline.
So Papa took ME, Dicong took ME. So I was thinking, you know what? Kaya ko rin, ganyan.
Ah.
But then after
He talked to you, right?
them talking to me, and when I was reminded, and when I saw how Dicong had to work so much and kept studying and studying, for me naman, I went to that. I kind of went to that in high school, studying in a semi-honor section, and that's not the
That's not the
that's
life.
not the life I want. I don't want to have Dicong's life. That props to him. He has the discipline to.
And he
you know,
was
go-
probably interested in something about it.
Yeah.
Di ba?
But then I had to.
Like Papa was really interested.
I had to
in
fix
math.
my motivations because that time it wasn't really the things that you learn in ME that was enticing to me. It was
Yeah.
about being ME and graduating ME. That's why I went to Comtech, and I'm still happy up to now with that choice that I went to Communications Technology Management.
Incidentally, mas marami units yung Comtech kaysa
Mas
sa
marami
MP.
units pero
Mas
it's
madali ng
no-
konti.
ng konti. Although the workload is still heavy. We only took up accounting 15. Parang they took up more, and
Yeah. At saka, there were a lot of yung mga crazy OR, mga kung ano-ano. I like
Yeah,
what Dicong, Enrique told you. And Anton, di ba? He said something like, Anton, you don't just take up ME just because. You better make sure you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. It's like a precursor for mga grad school or mga people going to med school or law school. I don't think it's really not dun pa mas lalo.
Not
It's not
just because
advisable.
then,
You don't
yeah.
kasi at least di ba ME, one, you can shift or if you as long as you graduate college naman. Parang that's a step up. But then if you go med school and then you graduate, ayaw mo pala maging doctor. Parang dun yung mas
Dapat
sayang yung
buo
oras
yung
at pera
loob
mo.
mo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mistakes that you don't need to make anymore if you can just make the proper decision from the beginning. Okay, now you want to share you this a snippet from a Will Smith Instagram story that I'm sure people can relate with.
Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. When you go to the gym and you work out, you're actually seeking failure. You want to take your muscles to the point where you get to failure because that's where the adaptation is. That's where growth is. Successful people fail a lot. They fail a whole lot more than they succeed. The reason for practice. Practice is controlled failure. You're getting to your limit until you get to the point that all of a sudden your body makes the adjustment and then you can do it. Failure actually helps you to recognize the areas where you need to evolve. So fail early, fail often, fail forward.
Okay, from this clip, I wanted to pick out two important things
Okay.
that I really resonate with and agree with. One is that the thing with failure is that it helps you to determine which parts you need to improve. And I'll relate this more to sports later. Pero this is it's a very kasi you can say na failure is important. It's good to make mistakes. But then I guess this is the pinaka-concrete way to understand why failure is important. Because my favorite example would always be basketball.
Yes.
If you study your game, how you're playing, and then you see your weak points, like me, I'm not good at dribbling the ball. That's a failure that I need to work on. Yeah, because if I was just scared to touch the ball in the first place, kasi parang guess what, I don't want to get a turnover, I don't wanna fumble the ball or anything. I'll never also know that is the thing I need to work on.
You'll just freeze.
Yeah, or people who are afraid to shoot the ball kasi they're scared it won't go in. Like, you'll never know until
You'll
you
never
actually
know.
try. It's very self-explanatory, the things Will Smith says in his inspirational Instagram story. Fail early, fail often, and fail forward. Something
Yeah.
I'm sure you also heard in the thousands of books and TED Talks you've watched.
Yes, talaga. Fail early. So maybe I can talk to parents out there because sometimes when you were younger, I would see these kids who wouldn't be joining any of the
Yeah.
games during birthday parties. And then I would ask, bakit ayaw niyo sumali? Ayaw niya kasing matalo eh.
Yeah, and if it's a kiddie game,
Oh my God, di ba? So what kind of environment are you setting for your children? Do you frown upon failing or dapat siguro you just encourage them? At saka yung overpraising din kasi eh. So if
all these
everything na lang is, you're very good, you're very good.
I hate the
Wag naman.
certificates for participation. That's something I think schools should ban. Kasi, ba naman yan? Or yung mga 8th
Lahat na
place.
na.
Ano 8th place out of 100.
1,000.
Okay naman.
Pero out of 9.
Yeah. Wag na.
Oo, you have to avoid the overpraising.
That's a
kasi-
healthy amount of praise. That's
Yeah, and a
needed.
healthy amount of criticism. Para
Yes,
naman
yes.
matutunan niya, no? Para magkasanay siya ng failure.
Yeah, I
What
think-
did Papa tell you while growing up?
and related to sports, that if you learn how to lose, you'll never lose. Kasi
Yes.
Papa was his style, when we would play sports, syempre, the bonding namin, us stay with Papa. So, be it, badminton, basketball, ping pong, and
Ping pong.
everything. His style is, I think it's one of the reasons why I wish to hopefully have kids medyo early para yung okay
Early.
pa yung katawan ko, yung physicality
You
ko.
can still,
You play with
play
your kids, and what his style is, hindi niya masyadong tinatambak kami kaagad.
at the start.
Yeah, but he kind of makes it kind of close ba, tas he's gonna beat us, and then he has a very annoying laugh na it's really it's really meant to make us pick on ganyan, and then he's gonna say I creamed you. He has that type of guy.
And what would you tell him? No more Mr. Nice Guy.
No, he's a nice guy. And then yung
I like when you say annoying laugh.
yeah, yun na nga. But then it's those it's that experience of using again and again, which brings you to the next point, that how sports, I really believe sports are very competitive, sports are very, very important, because first, it's just a game. So if you lose, you're
You're
just
not gonna die.
you just lose the game. I mean,
Yes.
unless it's your job. That's all. And like your kids pa, and then I think it's really important to go out and
And
play.
play. And in sports kasi, it's very obvious.
Yes.
There's a
it's
winner
very
and there's a
important.
loser.
And you can see why. Going back again.
So even if your mother back home says, "Oh, you did very well,"
yeah.
but
That would
mom,
be,
I lost.
that would be the thing that would, one of the things that would make basketball competitions more how do I say this, more understandable, and something.
Yes.
Sometimes it's more fun than dance competitions, because
It's so obvious, di ba?
yeah, basketball is more objective. There are winners. The winner is the one who gets to shoot the basketball more.
points.
That's it. In dance din kasi, depende sa judges,
the taste.
sa taste, ano yung uso,
Exactly.
parang there are too many factors then na we can say na like it's the best dances naman judging or anything. But then
Correct.
you just have to trust na lang na it was a fair choice, kasi lahat ng, in my experience of my many experiences of losing in
dance
competitions
here and abroad.
yeah. Well, I the ones in abroad, I don't count them na as losses, kasi
You won kaya, you're the champion dun
and the
sa...
fact that you get to compete abroad, I think is the big win already. Anyway, in dance kasi yung sinasabi ko is lahat ng mga hindi naka-top 3 podium finish, 4th place. They always say that then. Kasi there are times at competitions don't show out the scores. So they just say, no, 4th tayo. Ganun na lang. Or parang, I don't remember any competition where we lost and we said, oh, tago yun. We're gonna watch the first 3 places. Syempre, bitter din kami. Everybody worked hard naman eh. We can't say naman, no, we deserve it because we worked the hardest. But then, we can also say na parang, but then, we're the champion in the people's hearts. Yung mga ganon. It's not like the reason why yung lessons ng basketball hits harder and clear talaga yung message. Kasi, why did you lose? Because your defense wasn't good. You didn't rebound well, or
You didn't make a shot.
yeah, you weren't committing. Basta it's more, you can see it, and that's why there are so much more statistics in basketball. That's kasi you can't put stats on who the best dancer is, or what
Maybe they will, in the
what
future.
this team is better, and you can't kasi it's really, really subjective. And continuing again with my favorite example of basketball, why figure is very, very important. The greatest player ever to play the sport, Michael Jordan. It's a very sikat na tong story anecdote is that although he's the best player ever to have lived and played the game, revolutionized the sport and everything, he actually wasn't accepted. He didn't get in his high school basketball team. Went home, locked himself in the room and cried. Yeah, so it's those stories na although it glorifies these mistakes, Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't finish college, Michael Jordan didn't get in his high school team. These are important. These are mistakes that prove that even if you have these huge figures and make these big mistakes, you can really bounce back and do it much better. But again, we shouldn't get lost in the sauce of mistakes. Na parang kailangan ko magkamali.
Kailangan mo bumagsak.
Or
Huwag mo kayong bagsak, lalo na sa college, ha.
Yeah.
Mabayaran ulit ng magulang nyo yung units.
What we always like to say naman yung mga, yes, there are very, very successful people who dropped out of college. There are also a lot of people
more.
who are not successful because they
Yeah.
didn't graduate college.
And of course, because these stories are hyped up because it's unusual.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
because
you
they're
should
successful.
remember. That's what you should remember.
Yeah, no one's gonna write
No
a book.
one, about, he dropped out of college and he's very unsuccessful. Because that is the logic.
Yeah, no one wants to talk about that. But then that's the reality. Na if you graduate college, you give yourself a higher chance of.
And you were able to prove something already.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have the discipline, the tenacity.
And the
to
society
finish.
we live in, that's
That's like a minimum na
Yeah,
kasi.
those are the rules na rin na Why are you gonna take that path away from you and make your life harder
Oo, kung kaya
mo naman?
Yes.
Yeah.
So really, the important thing here is that try and don't hinder yourself from trying, going out there, giving it your best shot. Just because you're afraid to fail. Because di ba
Yeah.
sabi nga nila, at the end of your life, on your deathbed
Yeah, you don't
now,
ask. You don't regret the things you
Yes.
did. You regret the things you didn't
Didn't
do.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last point is that this is something I'm experiencing now. Because recently we have this basketball sports fest in our
In the
village.
village.
It's only I love basketball, but I know I'm not good na I can join yung mga the more
UAAP.
intense league. Yeah, I never played
Pang
competitively.
village pwede.
Yeah,
Or highest scorer
village.
ka kaya dati.
Dati 3 years ago tawag dun. These failures when losing is actually it serves as fuel to get better and do better the next time. And that's why I think many times the younger brothers usually are the ones who can actually get better or beat the older brothers kasi they're so sanay with losing
Ah.
my experience, although Deacon didn't get into basketball as much as I did, or didn't, it's really just stayed as hobby lang every now and then ganun.
Okay.
I'm used to when I play one-on-one with him.
You beat him.
No, when we were kids,
So of course
I'm
he was
super
taller.
used to him beating me
Yeah.
in video games, in sports and everything.
Okay.
And I think that played a part into why yung na-addict talaga ako na there are lots of days na we just go to the court and shoot to get better. It's this experience of failure and mistakes that I was able to experience through these fun games lang, but they taught me very valuable life lessons that I get to apply
Yeah.
now, and
But
I'm
it's
sure I'll apply in the future.
And
pa.
it's okay to fail, di ba? Sabi nga nung iba, what doesn't kill
You make you stronger.
makes you
That's a song.
stronger.
Many songs have.
Yeah. So yan, huwag matakot sa failure. That's the
Yes.
message that we'd like to impart here. It's part of life. If you haven't failed enough, that just means that you haven't tried enough.
There you go. And that concludes our episode for this week. So once again,
This has been Rose Fres Fausto, the mom.
and Anton Fausto the Son. Catch us again next week for another episode of Mom and Son Podcast. Bye. Mom and Son Podcast airs every Tuesday at 7 a.m. or at any time at your convenience and can be streamed through Spotify, Buzzsprout, and Apple iTunes, as well as a video version on YouTube. Just search Mom and Son Podcast for your weekly dose of family, finance, passions, and everything in between.